Hello, Divas. Welcome to your first Inkscape class. Welcome, welcome. Today's tutorial is probably not going to be that long because I just want to show you the interface, the tools. We may play around for a little bit, just showing you what we're going to be learning, but not really in depth to teach you because we do have 4 classes, and I want to make sure that I do cover everything as far as your questions for next week. So we're going to go over some things today. You'll give me some questions, and then we'll spend more time next week answering those questions and showing you what's up. All right, so the first thing that you should have done already, I'm sorry, I'm having fan issues here. First thing you should have done already is downloaded Inkscape into your computer. So you will go to inkscape.org and you'll see this page. And up here on the top you'll see download. You're going to hit download if you haven't done it already. And then you're going to go here with Windows or your Mac. Okay, I'm not sure how Mac downloads. You may have to read a little further. But, they have things down here. That's oh, they also have a little help here. I never noticed that. Maybe I should scroll, Kim. Maybe I should scroll once in a while. All right. So once your Inkscape is downloaded, you will not need this anymore. So click out of that. All right. So then you will find your Inkscape in your sidebar. I pin it here under my mostly used because I am always in that program. You can right-click it and hit pin to start, which means it'll just be under your most used programs. So you're going to click that, and this will open. So this is your canvas, as opposed to your design space or your Cameo silhouette space where you would create your projects. This is your canvas in Inkscape. Now, a lot of you told me that Inkscape is very scary to you and you're intimidated. Please don't be intimidated. You are never going to design another thing in Inkscape, in Design Space or your Cameo ever again. Once you get the hang of this, you are going to. There's no way I would even try to put text together in Design Space. I come here first, then just import it, which I will also show you how to do if you're not sure how to do that. All right, so interface. So we have our toolbar on top. We have edit, file, view, layer, object, path, text, filters, extensions, and help. I have never even looked in extensions. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I don't even know how to do in there. And filters I haven't even looked in either. These are not necessary to even worry about. Okay? I mostly work with text, path, object, file, and edit. That's it. Okay, so as long as you know what's in here. So in file, you'll have a new project. Then you have save, of course. Then you have save as, and then you have import, which is bringing your images in to convert to an SVG. And then here, say if you had a sunflower that you loved and you just wanted to make it a print and cut, you could bring it in here, clean it up, and then export PNG image, which we will also do later on down the road. And then you'll have document properties. Click on document properties right away, and you'll have another window that comes up. Okay? Now it's very important to realize that this whole space, this whole area here, you'll have, to work within, okay? But when you're finished, you need to make sure that that image that you created is going to fit into this box, okay? This is your border, your page border. Some people rather have it off, which you could do very easily right here under border. It says show page border, uncheck it, and it goes away. I like it there because it reminds me to put my project into these parameters. If you don't, You're going to import it into your design software, and it's going to say unsupported, or it's just going to be blank, and you're never, it just doesn't, the SVG does not get read unless it's in this parameter, okay? So I leave it there because it just reminds me, hey, put it in there, and then you save. It's really not a big deal. You won't even see these lines after a while once you start working. Okay, in edit, you have your undo, you have your undo history, cut, copy, paste. I use paste a lot. I use duplicate a lot. That's probably one of the most I use in here. But that you also have that in your right click on your mouse. Okay, you have all these commands over here too. Okay, so you just have to right click and you have what's up here. So you don't have to go up all the way up here every time. All right, and I really have never used any of this. I'm sure there's so much more Inkscape that I need to know, but you see what I do all day long in the SVG group. So what I'm showing you is really all you need to know. Okay, so then you have layer, which I don't even bother with. So object. So you have fill and stroke, object properties, symbols, group, ungroup. I use group and ungroup all the time. Clip and mask. I use clip sometimes when I want to make a pattern. But when you make a pattern, you're making a print and cut. Remember that. Because patterns do not upload into our design spaces. And I'm gonna just use design space or our design software. I should just say design software, just so I know I'm covering all machines. So from now on, I'll just say design software. My apologies if I slip and say design space, but I'm a Cricut user, and so I'm used to saying that. Where were we? Okay, so down here, raise, lower. I mean, you could use this for layers when we get down to that part, but I just use this bar. This is raise and lower as well. So you have a lot of commands that are duplicated all over your workspace. Path. Object to path I use all day long because you need to make your designs a path in order for your machine to read it. So we're going to use object to path a lot. We're going to use trace bitmap a lot because that's how you're going to get images that you see on the internet, images like you put into the request thread in the group. This is what I use to pull the lines out so I could make them a layered image for you, which again, we'll learn down the road. Union, I use every day. Difference, all the time. Combine, break apart. And linked offset. This is how you can get your shadows on your text. And path effects is just another shortcut. So you have it here, and then you also have it here. Okay? Which most of the stuff that we click on over here, really, it doesn't function unless you have something selected on your mat. So when we get to each one, you'll kind of be familiar with it. So tonight, or whenever you have a chance before next week, play around with this, okay? So let's just do something easy. So I'll just show you what all this means. So let's make a shape. So you have the circles here. Okay, it says create circles, ellipses, and arcs. Ellipses. Okay, so you're going to make a circle there. And remember to always click off your image and go back to your arrow over here. That'll just bring you out of everything you've done so you don't get all your work sticky. So I have a red circle. So I'm going to, while it's selected, do you see the arrows? I'm going to right click on the circle and duplicate. Now you don't see anything happening there because it's the same color. So let's come down to the color bar here and make it a different color. Then you're going to hold Control Shift with one hand, and then you're going to take with your other hand on your mouse or your mouse pad, however you're going to work your computer, hold one of these arrows down and just pull in just a little bit, and it makes it smaller. Okay? then select it all. Then you're going to come over to the right hand panel, align and distribute. This middle icon, or maybe it's not the middle. I see the middle, so I don't look at the axis. The axes. So you're going to look in the middle and see center on vertical axis. So you're going to hit the center there. Then you're going to go right underneath it. It's the horizontal center. So you're going to hit that too. So make sure that that middle circle is absolutely in the middle of the red circle. While selected, come back to path and difference. So now you just made a line. You could use that for a monogram. You could use it for, like I did today, for the flamingo circle. I made a few of those and I linked them together and I made myself a border, a round border. All right, or then you could use these tools over here for, okay, let's make another circle. So make a circle, let's make it black. That doesn't look like a circle. That's better. All right, right click, duplicate, Control and Shift. All right, let's do that over. That was silly. Why did I do that? Okay. So right click, duplicate over here, bring it over. Use your Control and Shift, make a smaller circle, bring it over here. Let's make it a little bigger. Bring that over here and put it wherever you think you want it. Then right click, duplicate, bring it over here. And then you can either, to select these two circles, you can either come down and let go of your mouse. Now, I know in Design Space, not sure about Silhouette, but if I did that in Design Space, like that, that would have selected all three circles. In Inkscape, it's very, it really lets you do exactly what you want to do. Okay, so, or you could click on one circle, hold down Shift, and select the other. Come over and center them horizontally, and then come up to Path, and you can union them together. So now those two circles are together. No matter what you do, they're stuck together. Okay? Let's put them back down here. Select all. Come back up in the middle. Center on vertical. And then you could hit Path and Union. That's like welding. Union is welding. And then now you have one Mickey piece. Okay? So we're gonna, I'm not teaching you exactly how to do it yet. I'm just showing you what can be done and how it's pretty easy. Stars. Let's do a pink star. So you can make stars with 3 corners. Let's do that again. So if you click on a star and you could tell it what shapes you want to make up here on the top left. So I'm going to choose star and I want 3 corners. So let's make the star and I have 3 corners. All right. Or you could come over here again and say, well, I want my star to have 4 corners, or 5, or 6. You keep going. How cool is that? Until you can make a ray. I wouldn't want to cut that out, but you could do it. So I usually just keep it set at 5. That's my go-to star. I don't use clip art for stars. Okay, so let's show you how to do an import. So let's go File, Import. Let's go to my stuff in here, my stuff that I keep. All right, let's show you how to do a bow real quick. Okay, so you're going to do the bow. Just take anything off the internet. Now see how it has the watermark on it in the back? I'm going to select Path, Trace Bitmap. Now, if I just traced it, I would still get this watermark in the back. Some watermarks are easy, some watermarks are not. So I rather just do like grays. I don't do just a standard tracing. Okay, so I'm going to just do it in grays. And again, I'm just showing you quickly what could be done. I'm not teaching you right now, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. So I'm going to update and click OK. All right, now click off. And I'm going to take this. Now I made it gray, so this is our SVG. And if I did not make it gray, you could tell by going up to where it says Edit Path by Nodes and hover over it. Do you see the red lines? That tells you that that's a converted SVG. Up here, you don't see any lines because that's your PNG or your JPEG. So we could get rid of that. Click, hit backspace, or Control X is also delete. So now we have our SVG, but it's still printable. It's not layered yet, right? So we're going to click on that. We're going to go up to Object, Ungroup. So now, click off. We're going to take these pieces all apart. How cool is that? How cool is that? So when I say, this so-and-so picture, I can't get it, that means it didn't come apart like this, all right? So we could click on the bow with the watermark and get rid of that. We're going to keep one base. And you can look at them and really try to see which ones are the best because, well, they're all kind of the same. Okay, so now we have these two pieces. All right, so I want to make this bow red. But how do you do that? So you come over to the paint bucket, the fill bounded areas, and you use Control and your mouse to zoom in. You want to get as close as you can so you have the crisp lines. So you're going to fill in there, in there, and in there. While you hold Shift, you're going to select all three of those pieces. Come to Path, and we're going to union like we did the Mickey ears. Union. So now they're all connected. They're not separate. Okay. So here's a pink bow. And I could either put it on here as the base, or I could just get rid of that, come back to my original. Now, you could use it like this, but I wouldn't. It just kind of doesn't really look like much, but having a base completes, it like just finishes off your images. So you would click, select, break apart, and then union. If you break it apart without union again, which is weld, you're going to have pieces all over the place. Okay. Control Z redoes everything that you'd have done. Okay. So let's do it again. Select, break apart, union. Come down to my colors, make it black, and then slide it back over. Select all, center, center, and you're done. So now you have a lovely bow. Let's see if this is bow. Let's open Cricut. Upload. Browse. And looks for bow. Double click bow. And there it is. Next. Or save. And of course, Cricut's so slow. Come on. Select, insert, and now you have a bow. And look over here on the right hand side, you'll see you have 2 layers. So you're going to ungroup it. And then you have your 2 layers that you just push next, and it'll cut what you need. Okay, as opposed to this bow. Okay, now if I took this bow, I mean, and this could be done too, but if you need it layered, no. But for a lot of your print and cuts, and a lot of you ask me to do prints and certain things, and I'm like, you could do this. You could do this on your own this way. Watch. So you're going to go continue. I'm going to come up here, get your select and erase, and you're going to knock out that back. I think that's all knocked out there. Continue. Okay, yeah, I needed to work on it more, but if you work on it, let me go back. You can erase all of this back. I know it's a pain, but it can be done. I rather just layer my stuff. I really don't like print and cuts. So that's that. So that's how you can make a layered image. All right. So let's go back and talk about fonts. All right, so here's your A. The A, create and edit text objects. So you're going to hit the A, click on the workspace, and let's create. All right. So once that's selected, you're going to come down to either here to the text, you can come up here to the text, text and font, and it'll open your text and fonts, okay? So let's do, let's find it. And just do watermelon, it's an easy one. So let's type watermelon in there, it comes up, and bam, you're done. There's no connecting, there's no nothing. How beautiful is that? Now, but if you come up here to your node editor, you will see that I could click on this and it's not red. I'm not seeing where my machine is going to know how to cut. It's not there. But if you select, come up top to path, object to path, you're going to make this object a path. So object to path. Now see the red? It's an object now. Your machine will know how to cut, but it doesn't know where to properly cut yet. Do you see with the R, it's not welded. The letters are not welded together. I don't know if you can see that, but they are not welded together yet. So with them selected, you're going to ungroup. Now you have each letter. Now you have each letter separate. Okay, which we don't want because we could do that in Design Space. But you need to ungroup them in order for them to be welded correctly. Okay, and then you're going to hit Path, Union, which is weld. And now, do you see all those nodes? All your machines are going to know where to cut now. That's how you know it's done. All right, so once that's finished, and if you wanted a, say you wanted a offset, a shadow, select, go back to path, linked offset. Now you're going to get this little diamond up here. You're going to come down to tell it what color to make. And while holding Control and Shift with one hand, Your other hand, you're going to pull this up until, depending on how thick you want it. You can make it real thin, make it a little thicker. And while that's still unselected, you're going to come up to make the object a path. Because just because you made that coloring, the shadow behind it, doesn't tell your machine where to cut. So you have to come back and say object to path. Now the green has all those nodes around it. So now you have the two pieces. And again, you could check by just coming up here to hitting edit paths by nodes. And if it turns, by just hovering, if it turns red, you know you got it, you're done. Or you could click on it and you'll see the nodes. Okay. There's also an erase feature, which I'm going to show you real quick. Let's do a, okay, so then you could just go back, hit Control Z to bring yourself back there, and Control Scroll to bring yourself the whole board back. And then as long as it's in this box, it could be there, it could be here, it could be up here. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be small, it could be big. Just make sure it stays within the document lines. And then you come up here and save to whatever you want it to save as. All right, let me show you the fonts, and then I will show you. Then I will do that sunflower real fast that I want to show you. All right, so if we have a beginner here, and we want to download a font, so let's just go to font because everything there is free. Don't have to worry about anything. And let's see. That's pretty. Let's do Navy Ballad. So we're going to come over here. Oh, I just want to let you know this too. Where is it? If I went to, do I have to go to each decorative? Oh yeah. All right. So if I'm looking for something, if I have a word, all right, let's use create again. If I had the word create, I could type it in here and come over to submit, and everything that is in the font will come up as, well, that's cute, the hanging letters. I never saw that one. So my word comes up in all the fonts. How cool is that? So, oh, the Unicorn Magics, I just downloaded that yesterday. I love it. All right, let's do the Mega Polyscape. I'm so bad pronunciation. Okay, so let's do the Mega. Let me write it down so I don't forget. That's another thing. When you download fonts, write them down, because it's by the time you install them and go back and find them, and then you get back into your Inkscape, you forget what the heck it's called. All right, so let's go downloads, and let's save it here. And then you're going to come down to the zip, the folder that you just downloaded, and open. Then you're going to, sometimes in these zip folders, there's more than one file. So you're going to look for the one with an A on it. Okay, so that's your font. That's your true type font file. The ones with the A's on them. So you're going to double click that, and you'll see your font. You're going to click install, let it go. And then when that little window goes away, you're going to click out, and you have it. Now, just like Design Space or Silhouette, you need to restart your software before you see your font that you just downloaded. So let's close this, close that saving, and then we'll open Inkscape again. So many people in the Cricut group say, oh, I downloaded a font and I can't find it anywhere. It's not in my DS. Restart DS. Restart. You need to restart any program for it to upload into it. Okay, Inkscape, let's go. There we go. I'm also going to show you something called Nexus Font. I don't know if you all know about that. That's pretty cool. That's also a download. It's not an app. It's for your computer. I'm sure they make apps, but I rather work on a computer. I'm not sure how anybody does things on their phone and then sends it to DS. It's too small for me. I need something big and hardy to work on. All right, I just opened 3 Inkscapes. Okay, so font or text, click, and let's use the word create. Make it bigger. Click off. Come down to text and font, and just click in that window, and then just start typing. So it was mega something. So there it is, mega. Nope, I didn't have that selected. See, okay, let's try it again. Mega. And then I'm going to scroll down. Apple. Apply. How cool is that font? Oh my gosh. It's pretty good for the font. They have nice things. Now, see, you sometimes see how the top is cut off. Once you make it a path, or it doesn't do that anymore. So I'm going to hit Object to Path, and now I got my tops back. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's downloading and installing fonts. Let me show you my Nexus font. So it's called Nexus Font, Nexus font. Okay, it's also, let's see if we can find it on the inline. Nexus font. Nexus font download. And Softonic makes it, so you want to download it from here. It's a free download. Okay, so you're going to just come here, just download it like anything else. And then once you do that, you'll have an icon on your desktop. So you're going to double click it. I open this when I open my Inkscape every time. And I close it every time I download a font. Restart it. Okay, so I keep it in a little window here because I like to work, like when I'm doing a request, I could bring, the image that you give me in here, and then I bring up the font, Nexus font, and then I put in what you need. So, I don't know, again, let's be boring. Let's just put create in there. And then I'd scroll and see what's the closest or the exact font that I could find. Every single font that's in your computer already or that you download is in this program. Okay, it does take a second to load, but once it's loaded, this is the best thing ever. So you see all your specialty fonts, you see all your script, you see your print, your cute, your bold, your block, everything. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. Blackjack Regular is my favorite go-to font now, in case you guys want to download that yourselves. Blackjack Regular. A good bold is just called the bold font. I believe that's on the font as well. Brand Ball is the baseball one. So let's do that. Create, and then you put, depending on what size you need, I always start at 4 so I can see how big it is. So let's try 4. And then Randall and apply, and there you go. Done. Your swish is done. Now, if I wanted to make that swish smaller, I click on it, go to your text editor, and you see the cursor flashing. Backspace 1, so you're taking your swish out, and put another another number like 3. 1. See how it's smaller? That's 1. Let's do 7. See how 7's really long? So if I was making something, I'd probably leave it at 3. It's already connected. You don't have to play around. Select path, object to path, object, ungroup, path, union. Control, scroll out, look for your document, put it in there, save, whatever you want to save it as, wherever you're going to save it. Put it on your desktop just to be sure until you get the gist of it. And then whatever you name it, remember, and then upload it into your design software. Okay, what else is I going to show you? Oh, all right, let's do my name. So let's just do KYM, make it nice and big. And I'm going to choose the bold font. There it is. All right. So now if you come over to fill and stroke, you'll have this little menu here. Now with this selected, you could play around with these options. So this one is just your flat color like I have. The next one is your linear gradient. So see how it's different. Now again, this is just for prints and cut. Okay, so if you're going to create something like this, remember, images, wording, fonts, all that stuff does not come out of your machine like this unless you put some kind of vinyl in there that's like an ombre. Okay, just because it looks like this does not mean it's going to come out of your machine like this. It's because it's up to you what kind of material that you're going to be using. Now, if you want to make it a print and cut, great. Print it out, it'll cut. That's what it'll look like. All right. But you're not going to get this look by cutting vinyl unless you use that kind of vinyl. And I know they do make that ombre kind. It's really cool. All right, so the next one you can come back, and that's just an opposite gradient. And then you have your mesh gradient, and then pattern. Now you hit pattern, you have, that one just came out by stripes, but now you come down to this little arrow once you're in pattern, and there's really a lot to check. Checkerboard, circles, wavy, oh, it's white wavy. I mean, this program is just so much fun, but you just have to get in here and play around with it. Any questions you have, comment whatever your question is. If it's something urgent and you're wanting to know, like right now, I'm trying this and I can't get it. What did you do again? I will answer you. I will also readdress it in next week's video. So I hope that I didn't like overflow your brains right now, and just take it a little bit at a time. Practice makes perfect. Do a little bit every night, and I will see you all next week.